Welcome back to Cox Connections, exclusively on Cox 9 Roanoke. I'm Kim Stanley. United Way has been helping Roanoke Valley residents for a better part of a century. The work the nonprofit does impacts the entire community, and volunteers are the ones that make it all happen. United Way Valley President Frank Rogan joins us now to tell us about the inner workings of the organization. Thanks for being here, Frank. Good to see you as always.
Thank you, Kim. Good to see you too.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the United Way.
Sure.
You guys just do such a great job in our valley, and you just do tremendous things. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the United Way, your strategy, and what your goals are?
Well, Kim, we're very grateful for the support that we get from the people in the Roanoke Valley. As you said, we've been around for a long, long time. And the fact of the matter is that the people in the Roanoke Valley are the most generous supporters to United Way in the entire state of Virginia. So we have some great supporters, great tradition of caring. And our main goal at United Way is really to bring people together to solve some problems and to advance the common good. And we do that in a couple of different ways. First of all, we make sure that, well, the fundraising campaign, as you mentioned, a lot of people know about that. And that's a great activity that happens during the fall every year. And we're encouraging people to support that. But where the real the heart and soul of United Way lies is with the way that we work with our partner agencies and programs and really partners around the community to make sure that we do those things that will advance the common good. So, for example, we provide funds for everybody from early childhood education programs right through senior programs, and we strengthen families and provide help for the homeless and the hungry. There's a lot of things that we do, and we do it all with volunteers. So without the volunteers and without our donors, we wouldn't be able to provide the kind of service that we do in the Valley.
Right. Well, being a board member of the United Way, which I really enjoy, but it's been a real education for me, and I don't believe that viewers really understand how you bring the funds in and manage those funds. It's just amazing and impressive to me, and then disseminate those back into the community. Can you walk our viewers through how you do that?
Sure. I think that's the big question that people always ask is, so you raise all this money, then what happens to it? And we have a wonderful process that, again, is volunteer driven, and it's really driven by which program provides for the greatest needs in our community and who gets the best results. And our volunteers evaluate the programs that come in for funding, and they make sure that every program hits certain benchmarks so they're really effective at what they do. And then our volunteers approve those funds, and those funds go out to about over 60 programs in the Valley right now to really try to advance the common good.
And I just think that's so impressive, because what your volunteers are doing is they're ensuring that the organization that gets the funds truly have hit those benchmarks, and they're using those funds in the most appropriate way to help those in the community in need.
Exactly.
And I found that to be so, just impressive, being a board member.
That's great. I'm glad you're a board member, and accountability is a very important feature in life today. There's so many different organizations you can give to, but we can guarantee people when they give to United Way that the monies that they give will be handled well. They'll help people in need, and then we also prove that by seeing what the outcomes are for every program. So we're really proud of our volunteers. They do a great job every year trying to evaluate what the needs are and make those really difficult funding decisions to see who's going to get the money that will help the programs move forward.
Right. Well, and then also we're seeing a lot about Live United. I've seen some great commercials, some billboards, the T-shirts. Why don't you talk to us about what is Live United?
Sure. Well, I have my little lapel pin on right now.
Yes, you do.
And it's really more than just a theme that we have, but it's a call to action. We know that in the Roanoke Valley right now there's great potential for us to help each other out. And at the moment the recession is going on, it's still very difficult for a lot of folks, and we feel if people do three things, we'll have a much better valley. We'll have a greater quality of life for overall. And those three things are, number one, people can give through the campaign or some other way. We also would hope people would advocate for things they care about, whether it's better education for our kids or better care for people that are homeless and hungry, those kind of things. And the last thing that we ask people to do is to volunteer. We're finding now that actually people with the recession, they might have a little bit more time to volunteer, and if somebody can go out and deliver Meals on Wheels or help us with that allocation process that you just mentioned, that would be great. So that's what Live United is all about. It's really a call to action. We're asking people to give, advocate, and volunteer.
That's great. Well, speaking of giving, you're in the midst of launching the campaign. I think it's it's in full force now, correct?
Correct.
Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the campaign this year?
Well, every year we run an annual campaign, and Jeff Marks with WDBJ7 is our campaign chair, and we have probably about 1,000 volunteers that work on the campaign. And what we hope to do this year is to reach out to more people. We always raise a lot of money, which is great. It's very much needed. But we really want to have is an expanding base of donors. So our goal this year is really to attract more people to give to the campaign. So we'd like to get probably about 22,000 donors this year to give to the campaign. And if we do that, we know we'll raise more money, and we'll also involve more people with really trying to solve some of the problems that we have in our community. So overall, we're going to have a major outreach to lots of different companies, lots of individuals. We'll have a lot of special events, and the whole idea is to make sure that we can raise the required money we need to do all the good work that our community impact volunteers do in the community.
So you have a goal of about 22,000 people.
Exactly.
Because truly that's where we've seen the decline. You guys have done a great job of continuing to maintain the giving level, although we'd like to see that grow because the needs are growing in the community.
Right.
But we have seen a decline in the number of people donating.
Exactly.
And so the goal is really to raise that as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
In fact, you know, the potential is enormous. I always try to look at what the potential is in any system. And right now, if we had there's probably about 125,000 people that work in the Valley. And if we had even 100 or 125,000 people give $1 for every day of the year, that would be about $45 million. So that would create an incredible amount of good for the whole Valley, help a lot of people during some very difficult times, and help us do things to help the next generation coming along as well with their education.
Okay, that's great. Well, real quick, we only have about 30 seconds, but do you want to speak to Bloom and the great things that Bloom did?
Well, you know all about Bloom because you were the chair of the event, and we actually did have a major special event last May, and it was extremely successful. We raised over $60,000 at the event. It was very creative. We had lots of people, lots of fun, but the important thing is that it is helping us right now with basic needs in our community. People that may be one paycheck away from a disaster can maybe get help with their utility bill or their rent or whatever it might take to help them get through some tough times.
That's great.
And last but not least, it also helped us during the summertime with a very urgent need, and that is some of our kids that rely upon meals at their school. When school closes, their meals do not get served. So we did have a special program. We had some food packages at certain agencies and schools around the Valley to help those kids during the tough summer months. So that worked out well as well. So
campaign's the big part of the fundraising. We don't want to lose focus on that, and we really want people out there advocating for the United Way, advocating for our community, donating their time as a volunteer, and then more important, donating their money so that we can help our community. Frank, it's so good to see you, and thank you for all you're doing with the United Way in our community.
Great. Well, thank you, Kim, and thank you for all that you do as well.
Absolutely. Up next, we'll introduce you to one of the many Cox employees we are proud of for their work in the community. Please stay with us.